We left the facility yesterday thinking you were getting Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah. And instead, you're not.
So we're not.
And Brockman's still getting Kristaps Porzingis.
How did they do this, Rich? How do you get Porzingis and 2 first-round draft picks? I don't understand.
Because the Wizards are having a forced sale sign. Everything must go.
Is there another Wembanyama coming out next year? I think they should have done this last season.
I honestly, this is fascinating to me that Beal and Porzingis go within a week of each other. But Porzingis is done, though, right? They're still
they got
putting the finishing touches on Bradley Beal, and the Wizards and the Celtics needed a third team in, and it was the Clippers when we left yesterday, and then take the Clippers out, and Malcolm Brogdon still on the team from Boston, and put the Grizzlies in, and instead of Brogdon being shipped out, it's Marcus-Smart, who is one of the most prominent Celtics, one would say, of the last decade.
Maybe the heart and soul, maybe, Chris.
Of this team, a defensive player of the year, as we know. But Porzingis is coming to town because the Wizards want all of the big contracts off their ledger. And Bobby Marks, the longtime front office executive who's part of ESPN's draft coverage tonight, he'll be joining us in hour number 2. We'll ask him, what's up with this?
What's up with that?
Because why would I guess the Wizards thought, let's try it one more time with Wembanyama out there, or do you get rid of all these guys a year in advance and give yourself a little bit better shot to get Wembanyama? And of course, the pushback from that might be, we got 3 of the 4 numbers right. Remember that? It came down to the Spurs of the Wizards.
That's right.
Because the first 3 numbers of ping pong balls of the 4-number combination came out. Spurs, Wizards, and then the last 11 ping pong balls, the Wizards actually had more of a shot at Wembanyama, and the ping pong ball came out Spurs. And the Wizards don't get Wembanyama tonight, and they don't have Porzingis anymore, and they don't have Beal anymore, and what they're doing is raising it down to the ground, and the DC fans will be like, tell me a story I haven't heard about their basketball team in town. And the Celtics adding Porzingis to Brogdon and Time Lord, I imagine, will still have a role on this team. And, Beal, and Brown and Tatum. But I do want to give you the floor on Marcus-Smart. I know you love this guy.
Love Marcus-Smart. Rich, you love Dame Lillard like a son, and I love Marcus-Smart like a younger brother. 9 seasons with Boston, 9 trips to the playoffs, and the list of Celtics who have done that, it's names you know. It's Russell, it's Kuzi, it's the all-time greats. This guy came in and was kind of the start of the rebirth of Boston in the last few seasons. Defensive Player of the Year. He loved being a Boston Celtic, and the fans loved him. Everything he did in the community. His mom passed away from cancer, so he was big in the New England children's cancer research and visits to the hospitals. This guy left everything out on the floor. Was he frustrating at times? Yeah, absolutely. He was the ultimate no, yes guy. Mm-hmm. He played through injury. He was tough, but he did a lot of things that were super frustrating. If he was not on your team, you probably hated him, but you loved him when he was on your team. He really deserved to be part of Banner 18, the team that brought another championship to Boston. He deserved it. He played that hard and that well. I wanted him to be a Celtic for life and get his number retired, but sometimes change is important, and it felt like the last couple of seasons coming up short in the NBA Finals and this year against Miami that the team had kind of reached its ceiling with Smart as a key cog, and it was kind of time to make a change and get some new blood in there around Tatum and Brown. And I'm excited about Porzingis. This is a guy who had a great year last year, career high in scoring. Only 3 players in the NBA, TJ, averaged over 20 points and a block and a half per game. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Kristaps Porzingis. This is a guy who can defend the rim, rebound, and stretch it out and shoot threes. Add him with Al Horford and Robert Williams, Grant Williams if he stays, and Malcolm Brogdon. This is a really good team. Celtics are now the betting favorite to win the NBA title because of this.
The NBA title. I think the East. Certainly the news that Chris Middleton is going to opt out.
But he might
and
stay
the Bucks.
on
but yeah, you never know.
Never know.
I think they're the best team in the East. You could make that case with all due respect to the Heat, and we'll see if they add Lillard. Then we'll obviously change the conversation on that.
Maybe. Doesn't seem like
But
that's likely.
with Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis, that's a heck of a troika. Certainly with the Suns
big guys
using
too.
another Washington Wizard to create their own troika in Phoenix. And I feel for the Wizard fans. You know, I mean, they're like, we don't even get Marcus Smart, who I have to say, because you brought out about who Smart is. He's been on this show before. We loved him.
Loved him.
He was talking about, you know, his mom passing away due to cancer and talking about how everyone needs to get screened for cancer. And he also, as you talked about what he did in the community, I'm wondering if his first phone call is to Morant saying, hey, let's meet, let's talk. And I think that he is a terrific player for them to add.
Agree.
I think that is a great guy to pair in the backcourt with Morant and have him do his thing, his Marcus Smart thing. I thought that was a terrific. I mean, whatever happened with the Clippers where they're like, we're out, unless they wanted to still be in, and the Grizzlies stepped up and added whatever the Wizards wanted to add to the equation, or I don't know how the Clippers fell out and the Grizzlies came in, but it is to the Grizzlies' benefit to get Marcus Smart. I thought that was a great move, and I feel for the Wizard fans out there who are like, we give up Porzingis and Beal, and we get Landry Shamet, and watch the best piece coming out of Boston for this trade go to somebody else. Chris Paul's gone.
For sure.
I mean, pick swaps or whatever, that ain't going to put fannies in the seats.
No. Just from a Memphis perspective, real quick, it's like, what did that team need this year? Needed some maturity, needed some adults on the floor. And that's what Marcus Smart is. And if he can be a mentor for John Morant, whatever he's going through, like that is a perfect situation. Memphis fans are going to love Marcus Smart. Remember when Tony Allen left Boston and went to Memphis and was a defensive stalwart, hustle guy, heart guy? You're getting that times 10 with Marcus. Fans are going to love him, and sad to see him go. It's kind of a bummer of a day, but I do think Boston won the trade, and I do think they got better today. And so I'm excited for the new era.
No doubt.
And I think with the Clippers, it was a medical issue that kind of raised some red flags with them. So that's why they kind of
and Brogdon, I think, would have precluded Chris Paul, who I think is their best move. Getting Chris Paul back, you know how much you love him.
But Rich, it's like, okay, I'll love him for, the 3.5 months that he's available.
So then Terrence Mann will play. Who I think is amazing. He should have played last year. I think he's great, unless he's got to go for Chris. I don't know.
Hey, let me tell you, Clippers fans will revolt. Clippers fans love Terrence Mann.
Yeah, as well you should. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.